Next up is going to be is going to be Kingfisher, right? So a little bit about Kingfisher. If you've never heard of Kingfisher, okay, they Kingfisher PLC. They're an international home improvement company with over like 1,400 stores in 8 countries across Europe. They got a team of over 80,000 colleagues. They're constantly working on making home improvement accessible for everybody. That's really the whole idea, the mission behind Kingfisher. And moreover, they have really just fab technology teams who are focused on building, bespoke approaches, embedding technologies, crossing the supplier and customer journeys, and how do we bridge that? They're pioneers in the real retail technology space, and they're looking for people to join their team in Poland. So if that sounds like something that would be kind of cool, technology and building and the democratization of home improvement, definitely follow that up. That could be a cool opportunity. So we're actually going to hear from Chintan Parmar. He's the platform technical lead at Kingfisher Group. He's a DevOps advocate, focuses on all the good things us DevOps people like to focus on, right? Availability, performance, reliability, innovation to cloud platforms. It's done a lot of cool stuff building platform engineering teams and capacities. So it's almost as if we planned this, right? And really, idea is just about building a DevOps culture, monitoring and empowering teams to deliver value to their customers. So without further ado, take it away.
Hi, thanks for joining me today. So my name is Chintan Parmar, and I'm a platform technical lead at Kingfisher, and I'm here to talk about what my take on a DevOps transformation is, some key ingredients that I feel are really important for a successful transformation, and finally some tips and tricks from my own journey that will hopefully help you on yours. So what is my take on a DevOps transformation? I think it's taking an agile inspired approach to how technology is designed, built, and also how it's delivered. An agile methodology may not be suitable for every project or every organization, but I think there's always some inspiration to be taken from it to help deliver software or technology more efficiently, but also of greater quality. Some of the key ingredients from my perspective, I think it's really important to have empathy and building an environment and culture of trust. We all know that from a people perspective, but also from a tech perspective. I think building that technology out and implementing it with trust is super important between your teams. I think breaking down silos and barriers, I think we all know that's super important, but we know that from an organizational perspective and across teams, but also within teams is also really important. Striving to build those full capability teams is also really important. I think having all the skills and knowledge within a team will just help bring in those efficiencies to help deliver those outcomes a little bit more efficiently. Having really clearly defined and documented structures and processes, a bit of a mouthful, but I think essentially what I'm trying to get at is having them clearly defined and documented allows for everyone to know who's accountable for what and by when, just so there's less room for confusion along the way. And that leads on quite nicely into the last one, which is that open, honest and transparent communication. I think, and of course driving that collaboration as well. Something that's always stuck with me is over communication is better than under communication. By having all the facts, people will be well equipped to make decisions along the way with their job. So some of the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, I think start small. Don't aim to drain the ocean. The way you slice your work, the way you slice change should be quite thin. Aim for sufficient, not good, not great. I think that will allow you to get your feedback quite early on from customers and then iterate quickly, right? And then I'm jumping around a little bit here, but failing fast and failing forwards. By starting small and getting feedback quickly, that will allow you to fail fast, but also take the learnings from your previous iteration and take them forward into the next iteration, which is all about failing forwards. I think hiring the right skills in is really important, as we all know. But I think not just from a technical perspective, but also from a people perspective and their soft skills. And I think that will help drive that culture of empathy and trust. And then the final two things are communicate, which I've talked about in the previous slide. And finally, just something that I've learned personally along my journey so far at Kingfisher is embrace the change. I think it's quite important to take a step back and have an open mind to the change from all directions, just to help along that journey. And then final slide from me, I think from a technical perspective, strive for 100% infrastructure as code, and that's me putting my platform engineering hat on. By having everything defined in code, there's less room for confusion and error. You've got that auditability and traceability, and it also brings in that collaborative approach again as well. Talking about the full capability teams earlier, I think yes, full capability from each discipline is really important, but I think by having those self-serve capabilities allows for the true autonomy within that team, and what again help bring those efficiency in the way that software technology is delivered. Moving on, I think automation is really important. Yes, having those safe capability allows for autonomy, but it also allows for that best practice to be spread across the entirety of your platform or software, and it also brings in that consistency. And I think consistency is really important from my perspective, because I think by having that consistency and best practice, that allows for the autonomy to be brought into those product teams as well. And then finally, I think just choosing the right tool for the right job. The example I'll use is from an infrastructure as code perspective. You've got CloudFormation, you've got Terraform, Pulumi, and everything else on the planet. But don't try to, especially from an enterprise perspective, don't try to have a one-size-fits-all tool for use cases. Use the right tools for the right job and maybe group them up together. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening today. I hope you've gained some value from that talk, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that brief but interesting and enjoyable little presentation.